RTO with your fabulous host here. Hope everyone's looking forward to the weekend. I do like Fridays now. Tomorrow I can have a bit of a chill day. So Friday means it's live album ranking day, and today we're looking at one of my favourite bands who I've seen quite a few times, and I've been in one of their videos as well. I've met the band, you know, normal life. And we're talking about AC/DC, of course. Very solid band, and just love them. They do what it says on the tin. So they have released 3 official live albums and a box set, which I've included in this ranking, which you will find out why when we get to it. So, first, coming in at number 4 then, is the second official album they released live, released on the 27th of November 1992, and it's AC/DC Live, which was a single CD, and then it came out as a collector's edition, and obviously I got the collector's edition. Right, as the tracks on here are superb, but it's done from various venues, including Donington and inside, and that's where the sound sort of loses it. You know, you can exactly tell which one's recorded outside. I mean, most of the live outside stuff is done at Donington Park, which is a very funny shape. It's in a hollow, and as you go up, you sometimes lose a bit of the sound. Those of you who have been there will know what I'm talking about. Sometimes the sound there is a little bit iffy, and it doesn't help when you've got planes flying overhead as well. It's always a great place to go and watch a concert, but recording a live album at Donington has never been very clever. So let's have a look at the tracks, because they are some corkers. I mean, this one opens up with the stonking Thunderstruck. This live album features obviously Malcolm and Angus Young, Cliff Williams, Brian Johnson and Chris Slade. I like Chris Slade's drumming. I've seen them a couple of times with Chris Slade on drums now, and I really enjoy watching them. And the first track is Thunderstruck, great track. That was recorded at Donington, and you can tell. Then we get Shoot to Thrill, which is recorded at the NEC, which is a good place to record live stuff. Really good version of that. Then we get Back in Black, that's done at Donington. The sound, the recording of that is a little bit, you can tell. I mean, I love the band, but you just can tell. Sin City, absolute classic. Indoors again. Who Made Who Indoors. Heat Seeker, brilliant. Fire Your Guns, I love that track. Unfortunately, it was actually recorded at Donington Park, and it's, I don't know, the sound is not very good on that. Then we get Jailbreak, that's recorded at the NEC, brilliant. Great version, terrific. The Jack, this is recorded in Moscow. It sounds a little bit, I don't know. The Razor's Edge, title track from that album, recorded in Birmingham. Yeah, that's alright. Like Dirty Deeds, that's recorded at the NEC. Then we get Money Talks, recorded in Birmingham, brilliant. Then we get Hell's Bells, this is done in the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, not bad. Are You Ready? That's the one I was in. Video to that, if you remember, it's the one in the prison. Really really good. That's the way I want to rock and roll. Doesn't sound too bad. The Edmonton recordings are not too bad. High Voltage, classic song. You Shook Me All Night Long. This is at Donington. I love the track, but if I don't hear it again, I'm not going to get upset. A Whole Lot of Rosie. That's a really good version. Let There Be Rock. That's recorded at the SECC in Glasgow. Stonking version of that. Then you get Bonnie, You Take the High Road. Obviously they did that because I was in Scotland. Highway to Hell, recorded in Scotland, good version. TNT, Back to the NEC, really good version of that. And then we end up with For Those About to Rock, recorded in Canada. Okay, as I said, the production is a bit all over the place because of the different venues. I'm not a great fan of our live albums are recorded and picked from various places because the continuity is not there and the sound quality sometimes isn't there. If this was all recorded either in Glasgow or the NEC, this would be a corking live album. I mean, it's a great album anyway, but it'd have been even better. And for that reason, it's number 4, and I give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay then, number 3 is sort of their first live album. If You Want Blood, You Got It. This is the only official live album with Bon Scott. Recorded in 1978 and was released just after that. Obviously it's got that classic lineup: Bon Scott, Angus Young, Malcolm Young, Cliff Williams and Phil Rudd on the drums. I love this album. I mean, it opens up with Riff Raff. I love that track. One of my favourite tracks by AC/DC. Then we get Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, another corker. Bad Boy Boogie, another brilliant track. Then you get The Jack, Problem Child, another corking track. And then we get probably the best recording of this song, A Whole Lot of Rosie. I just how it's like da-na-na-na-na, and then everyone's going Angus, da-na-na-na. Best live version of that. I think it's the best version of that song, full stop. Then we get High Voltage, another solid track I love. Let There Be Rock, another very good version. I just love that. And then we get Rocker, another great version. Love this album. I play this to death. I mean, I first had it on cassette and I wore the cassette out. Because for a long time this was the only sort of live material that we had of AC/DC in any form, and that for reason I give it an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay then, number 2 is the most current official live album, released in 2012, live at the River Plate. This was done on the Black Ice tour, and sadly these were the last live performances by Malcolm Young. It's a very special album to AC/DC fans, I think, because this, after this we didn't have any Malcolm live stuff, and he sadly died in 2017. It's got some great tracks on here. It's all recorded at the River Plate Stadium in Buenos Aires. It's quite solid. The continuity's right. The sound is actually really good. Really got it right. Opens up with Rock and Roll Train. Of all the modern AC/DC songs, this is one of my favourites. It's a great song. Then we get Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Great version. Back in Black, probably one of the best live versions of that song. Big Jack, another album off the Black Ice. It's not a bad track, not my favourite AC/DC track, but it's still great live. Then we got Dirty Deeds, terrific song. Love the guitar solo in that. Shot Down in Flames, brilliant. I mean, this lineup is Brian Johnson, Malcolm and Angus Young, Cliff Williams and Phil Rudd. I do love Phil Rudd's drumming. So on Thunderstruck, although this, Chris Slade recorded it in the studio, I just think Phil Rudd's verse drumming on that is awesome. He's a great drummer. Can't deny that. Then we get the title track, Black Ice from Runaway, the Black Ice album. Really good track. The Jack, Hell's Bells, another great track, one of my favourites. Shoot to Thrill, always love that. Then we get War Machine, that's another of my favourite tracks off Black Ice. And then we get one of my favourite tracks from Let There Be Rock, Dog Eat Dog, Eat Cat Too. Love that, and I love the guitar work in that. Oh, You Shook Me All Night Long again, yeah, alright. TNT, I just love that. Oi! Oi! Whole Lot of Rosie, it's a good version, but not as good as the Bon Scott on the If You Want Blood album. Let There Be Rock, this is actually one of the best versions of this. It's the longest version, it's 18 minutes, but it's got Angus doing all this stuff. Then we get Highway to Hell, another stonking track. Then it ends up, of course, with Those About to Rock, and I'd say that is the definitive version of that song. Really, even with the guns going off, it doesn't lose it, because the stadium it bounces off the back of the stadium. I saw them do this at Hampden Park, and again, because of the shape of the stadium, the sound of the guns going off just kept in the stadium. It loses it a little bit inside, which is daft. It echoes more, but outside it doesn't. It sort of bounces back off the wall, and it goes around your ears for days. So it's the best Brian Johnson live album, without a doubt, and I give it an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay, my number one live album is actually a box set called Bonfire. It's got 5 discs, released in 1997. And then it came out again, they did a digipack format that would have marked the 50th birthday of Bon Scott. Reason why this is my number one, it's got 2 live sets. One is from the film Let There Be Rock, which is fabulous, and the other, now I got this as a dodgy bootleg many years ago, long before this came out officially, of the Atlantic studio recordings. And then you get on another disc, you get some unreleased early material, and then you get some live stuff of tracks that Bond tracks. So it's terrific. And then the last is a remastered version of the album Back in Black. So the first disc is actually from Atlantic Studios. It was recorded around about 1978. I had a terrible live bootleg of that, but this is really, when they remastered it, sounds absolutely out the top drawer. It opens up with Live Wire, and you get the start of it, and you got Bond saying, "We're now going live, enjoy it," and all that sort of thing. I love Live Wire. It's probably one of the best live opening tracks next to Riff Raff. I love Livewire, and I do prefer the live version of Livewire to the studio. Then we get the brilliant Problem Child again. Love that track. I just love that. Then we get High Voltage, another of my favourites. Then we get Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Again, we get Dog Eat Dog. And I like the we get the Jack on here, and I like this version because it's got everybody that was actually in the studio doing this, you know, all the technos and everything, and they're all singing "He's Got the Jack." A Whole Lot of Rosie, another great version of it. Although it's done in a studio, it's just plug in and go. Very raw, and I love this little album. It's terrific. And then it ends up with Rocker. Second CD, it's over 2 CDs. This is the soundtrack from the video, now DVD. Let There Be Rock opens up with Livewire. Obviously, again, this is the classic lineup, as I call it, of the Young Brothers, Scott, Williams and Rudd. Yeah, it opens up with Livewire, and I just love, and when it kicks in, Angus is a man possessed. I'm sure most of you fans have watched this. He just goes mental in this. Love it. Then we get Shot Down in Flames. One of my favourite tracks off the Highway to Hell. Then we get the classic Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Sin City. I just love that. Then we get Walk All Over You. Great track, great live. And then we get the best version of this song, Bad Boy Boogie. This is the bit where Angus does his little strip. And what I like about it, when he's doing that strip, you've got Phil and Malcolm and Cliff. That little riff when he's prancing around, it's terrific. And when he drops his trousers, dun 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 dun, dun, boom. And then when Angus comes back in, they give him his guitar back, and he starts all them little things. It's brilliant. As I say, it's the definitive version of Bad Boy Boogie. Then we go to the Jack, another great version. Highway to Hell, classic. Girls Got Rhythm, another corking track from Highway to Hell. High Voltage, and we get Let There Be Rock, which is quite a short, but hang on, no we don't. I'm jumping ahead of the guns. Then we get Whole Lot of Rosie. It's a great version, but not the best version of this song. Rocker. I love this. And if you remember in the video, you've got Angus on the back of Bond's shoulders, giving it large. Fantastic. Then we get TNT and Let There Be Rock. Then there's this album that's called Volts, and it's just got some things like Dirty Eyes. It's got lyrics that from Whole Lot of Rosie, Touch Too Much but Nothing Like the Song, If You Want Blood, Backstreet Confidential, Get It Hot. Then we get some live stuff. Version of Sin City from 1978, recorded at the Midnight Special. And then there's a track that from 1977, She's Got Balls. Great live version of that. It's recorded from the Bondi Lifesaver concert. And it's a heavy track. And then you get version of It's Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. Slightly longer than the one on High Voltage. So that album is number one because that concert from Paris it's probably the last lot of live material and the last official live recording stuff of Bon Scott. I normally don't buy these box sets, but this one I had to, purely just for that version, because I'd only got it on video, and you know you can't really record versions of that off your video. So I was dying to get this just for this concert, and the other stuff's not too bad. And plus, from the Atlantic Studios, I play these live versions a lot because I just love them. So it gets an RTO ranking of 10 out of 10. I do love these live stuff that AC/DC have put out. They haven't put a bad one out at all. I'm not saying that this is the preference I'll be for them in. So next week's live in album ranking is going to be Black Sabbath, and I have included Heaven and Hell. They're the two live albums they put out, because to me it's all Black Sabbath. Talking of Heaven and Hell, that's the next one for today, looking at the album they put together, The Devil You Know. So that's the next one we'll be doing, so I'm sure you'll be watching that, so I will see you for that, and take care for now.